7th grade boy who gave a speech on being prepared. He was seated at a desk at the front of the classroom when everybody came in, and he proceeded to give a wonderful speech about the importance of being well prepared. He used gestures, vocal variety, and humor. And at the end, the teacher complimented him on an excellent speech and said that he had a future in public speaking. He smiled, got up, and left the room, and everybody could see that he didn't have any pants on. I don't know whether any of us could pull that off, but it is a humorous reminder that preparing a speech is about more than just what you say. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, it's not just about having a prepared speech, it's being a prepared speaker. Today I will go over several areas for preparation, particularly focused on the meeting space where you're going to speak and practicing your speech. Here on Toastmasters, of course, we're always using this room. A few times we've met downstairs in a very similar room. But outside of Toastmasters, you might speak in a variety of different kinds of rooms. If you can, visit the room ahead of time, see what it's like. If that's not practical, try to find out what you can from the meeting organizer. You want to know, first of all, about the speaker area. How much room do you have to speak? Is there a lectern? If there is not a lectern, is there a place to put your notes or props or anything else you need handy? If there is a lectern, is there plenty of room to get around so you can talk to this part of the audience and you can talk to this part of the audience and not always be talking to these people? What is the shape of the audience? Are they seated in rows? Are they around a table? Is it a semicircular arrangement? If it's a semicircle, you won't need to move quite as much, but you'll want to turn somewhat to talk to different parts of the audience sometimes. But keep in mind, if you have a gesture that people need to see to understand, you don't want to do it when you're turned away from part of the audience. Another consideration about the speaking area is find out, is it a raised platform? If it is, how do you get to it? Does it have stairs or a ramp? If you have mobility issues, are you going to have any trouble getting up the stairs? And if so, might you be able to be on the platform already when the meeting begins? In terms of the size of the audience, it can affect the gestures that you make. Here in this room, I can shrug my shoulders and you'll see it. But in a large auditorium, for the person in the back row to see me, I'm going to have to do something bigger. On the other hand, if I'm used to speaking in that auditorium and I use grand gestures, they could look kind of overdone in here. Another area to consider is, are you going to be using a microphone? In general, you want to use a microphone if the audience is about 100 people or more. With a smaller audience, you still want to use a microphone if most people are over 50. If the room just has poor acoustics, or there's noise that you have to compete with, or you simply are suffering from vocal strain. If you are using a microphone, find out what kind of microphone it will be. If it's attached to the lectern, you're not going to be leaving the lectern. And you need to make sure you give gestures that people can see, not hidden by the lectern. If you have a handheld mic, you have the freedom to walk around. You also have a handful of mic, which means you're going to have to do your gestures one-handed. Because it's not much good if you do a big gesture. Nobody can hear what you say. If you have a wearable mic, you have the most flexibility in terms of walking around and making gestures, but you have to plan ahead in terms of what you wear. For men, it's generally easy. This goes in a pocket or clips on a waistband. This clips to the lapel, to the edge of the shirt. With women, it can be more of a challenge. Sometimes there's pockets, but often there's not. There may not even be a waistband. If you have to, I'm told that you can clip it in back. I've never tried it. But plan ahead what you're going to wear. Another thing that could affect what you wear is the room condition in terms of temperature. Find out, is it typically warm or cool, and dress accordingly. You want to be comfortable while you're speaking. Also find out about the lighting. Will you be able to see your notes easily? If you use handouts, will people be able to see their handouts? Find out about the location of doors. If somebody comes in late, how much of a distraction is it going to be? And what about noise from outside? We get a fair amount of it here. If you had not been in this room before, that could make it difficult for you as a speaker to hear all this creaking. Visual aids. If you are going to be using visual aids, be sure the equipment is available and working that you need. It's very popular these days to use PowerPoint. I think it's overused, but if you're going to use PowerPoint or some other computer program that needs to be projected onto a screen, be sure the screen is working and the projector is working. And no matter how much you test it, there's no guarantee it's going to work when you go to use it. At the conference I went to last month, in one of the meeting rooms, the projector just would not stay connected to the computer. And this one speaker just kept saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to give this presentation without my slides. Have a backup plan. A lot of speakers have their PowerPoint slides printed out. It's not an ideal handout, but it's something if the projector stops working. And it's something that people can take with them. Though these days, usually you can get the file electronically as well. If you go for the low-tech, the flip chart, be sure there is an easel. Be sure it's sturdy enough it doesn't fall over when you flip. And it's big enough for the audience. That's not going to work in a large auditorium. There's nothing like being in the back of the audience and having the speaker say, I know you can't see it unless you're in the front row. If you're using handouts, plan how and when they will be distributed. Some of these things you don't have control over, others you do. But even the things you can't control, if you know ahead of time what things might happen, you can create contingency plans and have some kind of humorous quip available to use when things just go south. The second big area of preparation is practice. You have your topic, you have your ideas, you've organized them. Now you need to practice delivering the speech. For one thing, you have to know, does the material you have developed fit in the target time frame? The only way you'll find out is by practicing it. You need to deliver the speech again and again so that your delivery can be smooth and natural. As you are practicing, here are some things to keep in mind. Focus on ideas, not words. You do want to memorize the beginning and end of your speech so that they come out as planned. But unless it's a very short speech, you can't memorize the whole thing. And even if you could, the problem with memorization is that if you get distracted, which will happen, you lose your place and it's really hard to get back in. Instead, as you practice, develop a mental draft of the ideas you're presenting, and if you miss a point, go to the next one. It is okay to have notes, just don't be tied to them. If you are using statistics or quotations, have them written out so you can give them accurately. Run through the speech from start to finish. This is something I struggle with. There is a natural tendency when you mess up, you want to stop, go back, and do it again from the beginning. But what happens is that you know the beginning of your speech really well, and you don't know the end so well because you haven't managed to get there as many times. Also, it's important to practice recovering from messing up. Add your improvements gradually. As you're doing this run through from start to finish, work first on the content, and then add something a little at a time. Add some movement. Add gestures. Add vocal variety. Don't do it all at once. But as you go through adding a little each time, it will become incorporated into that mental draft of the speech. Finally, get feedback. With my Toastmaster speeches, here's where I get the feedback, so I'm not asking anybody to do it ahead of time. But if I'm giving an important speech somewhere else, I don't get a do-over. I need to have somebody give me feedback when I practice it so they can tell me, how do I look? How do I sound? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do I need better transitions? If you can't get somebody to do that for you, at least consider recording yourself and review it yourself. The final things that you need to consider, one is prepare an introduction. Whoever is going to introduce you needs that material. What is your name? How is it pronounced if it's not obvious? The title of your speech, the topic, and something about your background with the topic or your reason for giving the speech to whet people's interest. Prepare physically and mentally. Eat and drink moderately before giving a speech. Avoid caffeine and alcohol, but get enough to drink so your throat isn't dry. But not so much to drink that in the middle of your speech, all you can think about is I need a bathroom break. Before the meeting, walk around some. You don't want to get a workout, but you want to get your blood moving. Stretch. You need your shoulders to be relaxed, and your jaw. You want to feel comfortable. And finally, prepare mentally. Envision a successful performance from when you are introduced all the way to finishing and everybody is clapping. See yourself being successful, and the confidence that will give you can make it a self-fulfilling prophecy. No matter how much you prepare, it's no guarantee things will go smoothly, but it's a lot more likely. But things happen. You trip over a word. Somebody in the audience keeps coughing. Last week, our banner fell over during the meeting. Fortunately, not during a speech. When these things happen, the better prepared you are, the better you can respond with poise and humor and go on to deliver an outstanding speech. Mr. Toastmaster.
Pauline on Be Prepared. Great job as always. It's really hard to evaluate such a good speaker, especially since I'm so new to the club, but I've got some few points to go over. So always visit the room beforehand. I do this even like when I'm going out to hang out with friends and going on dates. I always like Google Maps the place and look at all the reviews and see like where the seating spots are, where the entryway is. So it's important to be prepared, and you know you have to go here and you're not looking awkward, just kind of wandering through a place. So that's a good point there. And then microphones. I guess I'm still not sure how to use a microphone. I've been coached a few ways to like hold it to my chest, or I don't know where you're supposed to hold the microphone. I don't know. So maybe if you went over that and some more technical detail in your speech, that would have been helpful for me. And then the technology doesn't always work. And with my job being mainly implementing new technology, I hate hearing that, but I know it's true because everything always breaks. But the downfall of technology, yeah, it won't work. Always be prepared, bring extra papers. But technology can help us also with our speeches, as there's like live voting options on your phone. You can even, just by typing in the little code, you can get all the slides right to your phone. So it can hinder us, but always it can help us a ton as well. Then the run through start to finish. I always do my conclusions last, and I'm really frustrated when I get to that point because I can never think of a good conclusion. So I've read through my speech a bunch of times, and I know that part really well, but yeah, reading start to finish is huge. And I think that might be an issue with other people, is they do the conclusion last, and they're just tired of writing a speech by then. No caffeine. I don't know if I can do that. But things you did best were your movements and the props, like the microphone up here, walking all around, using your gestures, and if we're in a large area, I would have never thought that I would accentuate it, as I usually don't anyways. And then I'm not sure what the proper use of this would be, but like if the room gets louder, like people walking around, I don't know if it's the right way to do it to talk louder, like try to talk over it. I don't know what the right is for that, but that's the only thing I would do.